Starting your day off with a take on Vegas you won't get anywhere else.
Hi, I'm Holly Madison, and I listen to Brian Shapiro.
Hi, this is William Shatner, and I listen to Brian Shapiro.
Hey, this is Larry the Cable Guy, and I listen to Brian Shapiro. Why? Because I'm a good American. So is he. And if you don't listen to him, you need to pack up and leave this country.
This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
Welcome all again!
What's up, Vegas? Happy hump day. Yeah, it is Wednesday. Sharp and Shapiro. So glad you can join us. We have so much to get to today. I'm excited. We got a lot of news, a lot of stuff to talk about, and some great guests, too. You know, I grew up watching this guy. You know, he went from a politician to the hottest TV show on the planet. Jerry Springer. That's right, the legend himself, Jerry Springer, will be joining us in hour number 2. He's got a new show coming up, so he will be joining us in a little bit. Michael Avenatti will be joining us at the bottom of the hour. We got a big announcement to make. I say we, it involves the Vegas Take and Michael Avenatti. He will be joining us coming up here at the bottom of the hour in about 25 minutes or so. So we do have a lot to get to, not just because we have Avenatti and Jerry Springer, two very entertaining guests, but a lot to get to in the political world. And I want to start off by saying this. Cancer has touched, unfortunately, everybody, for the most part. It starts, you know, with Joe Biden. And the reason why I bring up cancer is because Joe Biden's son died of cancer. Tragically, Bo, back several years back in 2015. And there's a reason why I bring this up. And yes, I have family members, unfortunately, who have lost their lives from cancer as well. And like I said, cancer has touched all of us. So Joe Biden made a speech the other day, and he said, look, if he's elected president, he's going to cure cancer. Now, you could say maybe he misspoke. Is that a guarantee? We all know what Joe Biden is saying. He lost his son 3 years ago. What he's trying to say is, I'm going to do everything in my power to try to cure this horrible disease, right? I mean, we all know that. Let's read between the lines here. That's what Joe Biden was saying. So Biff, as Michael Avenatti likes to call him, that's Donald Trump Jr., attacks Joe Biden for making that statement, which is utterly ridiculous. So here's what I want to do. I want to play this ridiculous audio that Don Jr. made. And then moments later in that Donald Trump speech, I want to play the comments that Donald Trump says about disease because it is so ridiculous, it's mind-blowing. So here's the audio from the Orlando, I guess you could say, campaign speech. Don Jr. is speaking first. Here's what he has to say about Joe Biden and this comment about cancer.
Maybe you're the problem, Joe Biden. What was the good one last week? Remember, Joe Biden comes out, well, if you elect me president, I'm going to cure cancer. Wow. Why the hell didn't you do that over the last 50 years, Joe?
And now here's his father, Donald Trump.
We will push onward with new medical frontiers. We will come up with the cures to many, many problems, to many, many diseases, including cancer and others.
Okay, so here's the big problem with this. First of all, Donald Trump is claiming the same thing. He's basically saying the same thing, but here's the difference between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Besides the fact that Joe Biden just lost his son 3 years ago to cancer, so the fact that Don Jr. would attack Joe Biden for those remarks shows the lack of class for anybody in that family. Here's the important fact, though, because this is what we're talking about now. We're talking about facts. Donald Trump has sought a multi-billion-dollar cut to medical research. Multi-billion-dollar cut. Let that sink in for a little bit. Oh, and it doesn't end there. He's also banned studies using fetal tissue. And Donald Trump and Don Jr., also known as Biff, wants to attack Joe Biden, who's saying he wants to cure cancer. Can we just let this sink in for a second, how disgusting these comments are? And let me say it again, because this is important. Joe Biden's son, Beau, died of cancer in 2015. You don't think this is a personal issue to Joe Biden? And Don Jr. wants to chastise Joe Biden? Now, I've said on this show before, I don't think I'd vote for Joe Biden, but I respect him. He wants to cure a disease. That's what he said. He wants to cure cancer. And then moments later on that same stage after Biff was talking, Donald Trump said, well, I want to cure diseases too, paraphrasing. Again, he's seeking a multi-billion-dollar cut to medical research and ban studies using fetal tissue. Do we all understand how disgusting this is? I don't care if you're a Donald Trump supporter or not. Can you admit that this is disgusting? That you are using cancer as a political ploy to attack Joe Biden. If you are one of those people, like Don Jr., you are a disgusting human being. Cancer has touched all of our lives. Unfortunately, we all know somebody who's lost their life or has had cancer. I certainly do. JD, I'm sure you do as well. We all do. It's a horrible, horrendous disease. It's a terrible disease that affects us all. And all Joe Biden's trying to say is, look, I'm going to cure cancer. There's nothing wrong with being confident about that. That tells me he wants to do everything in his power to do it. So I ask you callers out there, again, and I seem to ask this on a regular basis, are you okay with Don Jr. going on a platform, on a stage, right before introducing his father, attacking Joe Biden for making that remark, chastising him for wanting to cure cancer, when his own father, the President of the United States, is the one with a multi-billion-dollar cut to medical research? At least that's what he's proposing, and has banned studies using fetal tissue. Are you guys okay with that out there? Because guess what? I'm not. This has nothing to do with politics and everything to do with decency. Again, this man lost his son from cancer 3 years ago. That should be off grounds, off limits. And I applaud Joe Biden for talking about this disease and wanting to cure it. We'll open up the phone lines right now at 257-5396. Again, that number to call, 702-257-5396 is the number to call. Reminder, coming up at the bottom of the hour, we got Michael Avenatti. And then in hour number 2, Jerry Springer will be joining us. Can't wait for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And also a reminder, we're going to be broadcasting live tomorrow at Rodizio Grill. So we hope you can come by, stop by 1300 West Sunset Road in Henderson. We'll be broadcasting live there, doing our show from 6 to 8, but we'll be getting there around 5. There'll be some free appetizers, some drinks. Love to meet all you listeners, so come out. That's Rodizio tomorrow night. Again, that number to call if you want to be a part of the program, 702-257-5396. Again, that number, 257-5396. Let's start with Gary. Gary, thanks for calling into the Vegas Take. How are you?
Brian, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Gary, you're on. What's up?
Thank you for not having what's his name again? The guy that killed his girl and everybody, the Goldmans and everything. Thank you.
O.J. Simpson, is that who you're referring to?
I'm going to see now.
Okay.
I have a little brain cancer, just a little bit going on.
So let me ask you a question, Gary, and I'm sorry to hear that. Since you had cancer, does it offend you that Don Jr. decided to go after Joe Biden for saying he wants to cure cancer? Does that offend you?
No, it's politics. It's all stupid, retarded, trivial bullshit. What he meant was he would spend a lot of money and try and get a cure for cancer. Right. I'm not voting for the guy, but to hold us up and talk about this over and over, and same with President Trump, every little thing is wrong. That makes me sick, and it makes me want to commit suicide or go shoot somebody. That's what it makes me feel like. Well,
we don't want you to do that, Gary, but I appreciate the call. Thank you. Thank you very much, Gary. I do appreciate that. I'm sorry, and I hope you can. I hope your cancer is cured. I'm sorry to hear that. This should offend all of us, folks. It really should. 257-5396, the number to call again, 257-5396. Let's go to Jimmy. Jimmy, how's it going?
Hey, Jimmy.
I'm doing good. Listen, I don't think I think what Trump's son was implying was that he's been in politics 40 years. Why didn't he cure cancer before that?
Okay, well, you can take that as to what he was implying, but I can only go by what exactly he said, and he was chastising Joe Biden for the remarks. Joe Biden lost his son 3 years ago, Jimmy. Can you admit that this is beyond below the belt, And there should be no place for this in politics. This is personal to Joe Biden. It should be personal to all of us, and you shouldn't be scoring political points when it comes to this issue, which is cancer.
Well, Trump says a lot of nasty things. Biden says a lot of nasty things about Trump.
He called him an existential threat to the United States of America.
So do two wrongs make a right, Jimmy?
No, but I don't think that Joe Biden is immune from this issue just because he has a son that he lost from it.
No, in fact, it makes it more important. It makes it more important. It makes it more important that he's speaking about this issue, Jimmy. Does it not?
Yeah, I don't think it's the smartest thing to say.
Well, it's classless.
Could have picked a different subject because Creepy Joe is. There's a lot of.
Why do you want to insult Joe Biden now? We're not talking about other issues. I know you've said, well, Joe Biden said some classless things about Donald Trump. Listen, I don't necessarily agree with that, but we can have that discussion another time, Jimmy. What I'm talking about, and I know you're probably a Trump supporter, and that's fine. Why can't you just say on the radio, instead of saying, well, maybe he should have chosen a different, choice of words, which is what you said, why can't you just say it's classless? I don't agree with it. It's classless. And instead of saying, well...
Yeah, maybe he didn't look at it the way you're looking at it, but, they're hitting Trump 24/7.
There you go again. All right. Jimmy, I appreciate your perspective, but now, Jimmy, I got to get to some other callers. I gave you a chance there to say the right thing. I appreciate the call. 257-5396. Let's go to Jim. Jim, what's up?
Hey, I got to say I disagree with your point. I agree, with Jimmy, that Biden's been in political office for 40-some-odd years. He's never led a cause to cure cancer. He's never had a bill, even as vice president. He's never issued it. I'm sorry he lost his son, but what about all the relatives we have lost the years he was in Congress, and he could have done something about it? He has to have his own personal law.
Well, he has, and when
and I'm sorry for that.
He has.
No, he hasn't done much in cancer.
You're wrong. First of all, he is almost his entire life he has been for stem cell research. It's what George W. Bush signed in when he was the president. So you're wrong about that. He has done things, and I'm sorry, that's just not factually accurate. But it's just not.
Stem cell research is not cancer research.
So you don't think stem cell research could possibly one day lead to a cure of cancer or other diseases? Is that what you're saying?
Stem cell research is completely different from cancer research.
Okay, well,
stem cell is more based on body parts and developing body parts and inserting them into people.
So what about
cancer? Cancer is a uncontrollable replication of cells at its core.
It's a different thing. But I'm saying is he could have done things in the past. I've lost people to cancer. I find it kind of insulting that now he wants to make it a cause because he lost somebody.
Yeah.
What about the people I have lost? Where has he been in the past to stand up and fight for the people that I've lost?
So you don't think he's done anything? You don't think he's wanted to cure cancer in the past? Is that what you're saying, Jim?
I've never recall an incident where he has made cancer.
No, what he is saying is
issue that he was politically behind and to correct.
He's never made a conscious effort to spearhead an effort to cure cancer. And I do have an issue. My only issue with what Donald Trump Jr. did was just his tone and his delivery.
Well, the fact that this guy calls up and he says, what has Joe Biden done for cancer, and fails to criticize Don Jr. for attacking Biden for want to cure cancer, to me is utterly a joke. Let's go to Jane. Jane, what's up?
Oh, hi. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Hi, Jane.
What's on your mind?
I just want to say I'm a Avenatti supporter. I think he's a great guy. I think he's misunderstood. And I really feel from the bottom of my heart there's a conspiracy to take him down. And I'm glad that you're recognizing and using the nickname Biff when you're referring to Don Jr.
Well, I appreciate that, Jane. And you know what? Thank you for those words. And Avenatti's coming up in a little bit. We'll take some Avenatti calls coming up in hour number 2. Appreciate the call. Let's go to Jeffrey. Jeffrey, how's it going? Or I'm sorry, Andy. Andy's next. Andy, what's up?
Well, I take exception to the whole idea that fetal stem cell research is anything worthy. They have nothing has come of that research. Adult stem cell research has yielded much, but fetal, not really. Meanwhile, you're commoditizing
No, I'm not.
these babies to become something that is bought and sold.
Okay, so you sound like a Trump supporter, so let me ask you a question then. He's seeking a multi-billion-dollar cut to medical research. What do you think about that?
I said, you think it's okay to take a baby.
You're not
pull
answering
it
the
out of
question.
womb,
We're not talking about
put
babies.
a price tag
I
on
just
it,
asked you a question, Andy.
and that has yielded nothing medically.
Okay, so
That
let
has
me. You
yielded
seem.
nothing.
You.
Adult stem cells. That's fine. That's yielded something.
Okay.
But you just keep thinking that the
Okay.
promise
So
of
let's
this,
just say
in the
you're right.
meantime,
Okay, Andy, you're not listening.
Planned Parenthood.
Okay,
uses
let
it
me know
to
when you're ready to
sell.
listen. Okay, Andy, let's just say you're 100.
Uses it to sell.
Are you done, Andy?
And the lady says,
Okay, just keep going, Andy.
I'm thinking along the lines of a
Okay.
Maserati
Let me know when
or
you're done.
whatever it was.
Andy,
a Lamborghini.
Are you done with your right-wing fetal tissue rant?
car.
Let me know when you're done. Okay, get rid of this bozo. He just won't shut up. Get rid of him. What I was trying to say, the guy, the lunatic wouldn't stop talking, is that Trump has sought a multi-billion-dollar cut to medical research. So even if he disagrees with the fetal tissue stuff, that's the, but he wouldn't stop talking.
The only way to approach that is how much money is spent per year on average on medical research, and what exactly divisions of medical research is Trump trying to cut down. And you don't know that answer.
257-5396, the number to call in. Let's go to Jim. Jim, what's up?
Hey, Jim.
Hey, fellas, what's going on? Hey, do you ever notice every time you take a call from a Trumpy and you ask a question that they go on a complete tirade or a rant?
Yes.
And then when you ask them, hey, hold on, I got one for you. And then when you ask them, well, wait a minute, answer the question. They don't stop talking. They just keep talking over whatever point you have.
Jim, you are very perceptive, my friend.
Yeah. Well, I listen to your show enough. And listen, the President of the United States, I'm not listening, so I'm going to say it. I'm not worried about it. The guy's a scumbag.
Thank
He's
you.
a tyrant. He's a racist. He's a homophobe. And anything that has to do with Trump and his whack job family is scum, and it's tearing America down.
Hey, Jim.
So let's get to it. Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say you're my new best friend. That's all I wanted to say. Go ahead.
All right, well, let's get back to something important here. When you guys cover sports, because I try to listen as much as I can.
Yes, sir.
I might miss it, but do you guys do updates on the stadium about where we at? Are we on track?
Once in a while we do that. I'll tell you what I'm going to do for you, Jim, because I like you so much. Tomorrow on the show, we will give you an update on the stadium in hour number 2. What do you think about that? Just for you, my friend.
And Jim, in the next few
Have a great
months,
day, fellas.
there's a good chance we'll be doing a lot more local updates.
Jim, thank you for the call. We appreciate
great call,
that.
Jim.
That was a great call. For once, me and JD agree. That was a fantastic call. I love that call. 257-5396. Sharon, you're next. What's going on, Sharon? Thanks for calling in. Thank you, Sharon. Appreciate that. I take that back. I am not going to thank you for calling in. Jeff is next. Jeff, what's up?
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, you keep freaking out over this fact that Trump is cutting, $5 billion or reducing the budget, which is like $35 billion by $5 billion. So yes, he's cutting some money. I got to ask a question for you, Brian. Do you think that all research funding is spent wisely?
No, I don't. Next question, please.
Okay, so do you think that there's possibly room to trim some of the medical research dollars that are completely wasted on a lot of things?
Possibly, but why don't we stick to the task at hand here? What do you think about Biff's comments in regards to going after Joe Biden for the cancer?
Well, I just wanted to address those comments that you made because you're like, Donald Trump is cutting multi-billion and you're acting like he's cutting all research funding. It's like
didn't say he was cutting all research funding.
Never said he was. Detail and make these
never said he was cutting. I never said he was cutting all research. Number one. Number two.
I know, it's the way you say.
Okay, so I answered. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry the show isn't exactly the way you want it to be, Jeff, but guess what? Now I'm going to hang up on you.
Jeff, we can work on that, though. Just give us some time.
Sorry, Jeff. Just be my content producer, Jeff. I'll say anything and everything
Jeff,
that you want to hear.
we're always thinking about what you want to listen to.
All right, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, I'm sure this will please Jeff very much. We have his favorite guest, Michael Avenatti, coming up next. Actually, it's my favorite guest. Michael Avenatti will be joining us next on the Vegas Take. Stay tuned. We'll be right back right after this. You're listening to the Vegas Take right here on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM KDWN.